Wow, yes, boys, yes, we are back and we are doing DJ Healer. Nothing to lose. Woo, nothing. Not even anything. Now, technically, this is the first album under the name of DJ Healer, although the mysterious Traumprinz or Dream Prince in German released this in conjunction with another LP under a different name entirely.
Prime Minister of Doom!
Foregoing his other projects, them all including other prestigious names such as Prince of Denmark and DJ Metatron.
Oh, not even Metapod, mate. Not even DJ Metapod. What the fuck?
But you can tell right from the get-go that this is designed to be a holistic product and experience under the name of DJ Healer, rather than just a mere afterthought or a collection of cobbled together B-sides. The cohesion here is no more apparent than how the album kicks off with the song At Last Becoming the Storm, which really does feel like druidic fucking priestesses trying to become a storm, even sounding reminiscent of some choral elements on Interstellar soundtrack. But the sparse layering here is a far cry from Hans Zimmer's blaring organs and horns with a static grained backdrop, minimally designed, yet still so satisfying, and leading into the next track, Great Escape, with the fucking smoothness of butter. This is just one instance of ambient tracks feeding into one another, each sort of rising and falling like waves lapping the next track as well, to the dark being only more swatched in that motif of grainy, warm static. It isn't all just formless ambience and ephemeral indulgence. Of course, there are house beats interspersed throughout this record and many samples, no more apparent than on God's Creation, The Interview, To the Dark, and Planet Lonely. These also happen to be my favorite songs on the album, with Planet Lonely and God's Creation in particular both utilizing a much required human element, with a girl's samples looped again and again to the point where they become as hypnotic and as synthetically instilled as the tittering beats rising and falling underneath. Not to mention the sheer applicability of the sample in God's Creation.
That's God's creation. It's absolutely amazing to look at. That's God's creation. It's absolutely amazing to look at.
Fucking David Attenborough over here, man. What the fuck, eh? Other tracks like We Are Going Nowhere is similarly fed by rhythmic dancey beats and only strengthen the blatant Boards of Canada influence, otherwise obvious on both songs previously described in those trademark swelling organ-styled synths. There is even an ASMR tribute song to finish up this cryptic crip of an album, with a man who would sound a lot better with an Eastern European accent, to be perfectly honest, repeating esoteric new age mumbo jumbo, but it still soothes City and a fascinating bookend to the album, especially given the conceptual energy imbued, boys. But the problem and main reservation I hold with this record is that although it succeeds in its nebulous craft, I simply require a little more from the runtime to be fully engaged, whether that be the textural or compositional elements, because this is also intentionally sparse and minimal at times that it can slide in one ear and out the next. This is obviously also its main strength in that Traumprinz or the Prince of Denmark or DJ Healer or Prime Minister of Doom's intent here is to set one texture as a focal point in each song, whether that be the vocoder in The Great Escape or the female samples on numerous tracks. And crucially, there aren't many moments here where it feels like there are more than 4 or 5 layers, which, you know, to the album's credit, gives the sound here a healthy balance and air rather than a busy clattering cacophony. It's very harmonious actually, as every texture is mutually compatible with one another, making the album somewhat unified and interrelated. I just think you definitely have to be vibing and in the mood to be able to appreciate fully just how perfectionist the timing, transitioning, and song structuring is. It is commendable and much harder to execute than, you know, an egg, but I simply can't force myself to love this album, especially given how much more interesting a band like Boards of Canada is, which this album clearly tries to emulate in a lot of ways. There's just so much vibrancy, richness, and attention to detail on an album like GeoGaddy by comparison, where this is a lot like the cover, sort of hazy, a bit like a storm front that swashes and washes all over you on a meditative spell. It is quite hypnotic and worth listening to. All in all, a superbly crafted album and executed, you know, with the intent fully resolved. But I do think it's flawed. For example, although most of the deep house beats are hypnotic, they aren't that uniquely fascinating in of themselves. It doesn't help either that they sound mirror images of each other, which could well be an intentional artistic artistic expression, but not one that I think succeeds in just breaking up the monotony. Oh, and also there is some definite burial or at least UK garage influence also with the warm pads, clip synths, and the insertion of the samples. All in all, I really did enjoy this for what it was, but I couldn't help wish that there was some more textures or unique deep house beats or a bit more resonating fucking climaxes at certain points, and that's basically it. So yeah, I will give this a 3.7, boys. The tomato has spoken. 3.7. But yeah. So yeah, that's the review. Hope you enjoyed it. Fucking, I really do appreciate the likes, feedback, comments, pistachios, new subscribers, hello. And yeah, just have a fucking good one. It's that simple, man. It's that fucking simple. Just have a good one. Woo! Wow! Wow! Wow!